May time, beautiful weather, and I'm sat in the gardens of the Elgood Brewery in Wisbech in Cambridgeshire, heart of the Fenlands. Now, apologies that we were saying we're going to Scotland this month, but plans have changed and we're going up there later in the year, probably in July. Anyway, I can't think of a better place to be on a day like this. Lovely sunshine, the most amazing gardens which are part of the brewery, and a brewery which dates back to the late 18th century, and brewing's taken place in here since 1795. Right, so we've come now into the part of the brew house here at Elgood's. I'm stood beside a 1910 mash tun with Alan Pateman, head brewer.
Hi
Alan.
Peter, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Good to be here. Alan, Elgood's is in East Anglia, great barley growing area. Is that a significant reason for being in this area?
It's one of the reasons why we do so well with our raw materials, and as you say quite rightly, a spit and a cough away we're in Norfolk, and North Norfolk is where we purchase most of our Maris Otter malt from.
Yes.
And a lot of links with our suppliers and the growers as well. It's very important to us.
Yeah. This is a wonderful site. It's been here brewing since
1795, the brewery was built. Yeah.
Right, and the family have owned it since?
The Elgood family, we're now in the 5th generation of their running of the business. They bought it and controlled it from 1878.
So a lot of heritage here.
We've got heritage. Yeah.
All right.
Historically, Wisbech is a very important settlement, going back a long time into sort of the history books. But it was a very, very important port. And normally where you get ports and a lot of shipping, you get a great deal of drinking.
Yes.
And the area obviously was very much dominated by agriculture. And all the farms, if you go back before the First World War, had huge teams of people working on them. All the little villages around Wisbech had pubs. They didn't have a lot to do but drink beer.
Yes, and sometimes they were paid in beer, I believe.
Very often, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was good food. This mash tun, 1910, part of the original kit. You've been modernising the brewery though, so...
We have. There's bits of stainless steel appeared in various places now, and we've been doing that over the last sort of 10, 15 years or so. Hopefully what we have done in the important areas, particularly the fermenting room, has not really altered the look of the place. So we've used the old wooden fermenting vessels and put brand new stainless steel ones in them. So a lot of capital investment as well. So.
Yes, that's right. Well, there's a whole wave of new breweries around the place, and I say it respectfully, but they have brought into it innovation into the brewing industry, the different beers, the seasonal beers, which I know you do as well.
Yes.
Because a lot of them are new, it's all stainless steel and modern, and has this meant that a lot of the older breweries have been forced to raise their game slightly?
I think that's a very valid point, particularly with the beer styles. We can't get along anymore in this country just brewing mild or bitter.
No.
Make my life much easier if we just... You used to work for Guinness years ago.
I know, I just
the
have
one product brewery. How
brewery.
easy is that? But in a way, interesting cask beer styles and the different types of beers and interpretations of the classes of cask beer has grown out of the mini brewery revolution.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's a good point, and it has actually made us consider the type of beers that we have to have on our portfolio.
Yeah, it's a two-edged sword, but some of the good bits are very, very good. And of course, the growth has also created the interest. Are your cask ale sales increasing?
Year on year, they have by a gradual percentage. So we've seen a lot more interest in one or two of our brands. A traditional beer for this part of the country was always dark mild.
Right.
Our Black Dog Mild is probably one of the beers we're best known for. We try to sort of blend the old with the new.
Well, I think it's amazing that a brewery is 120 plus years old. It's in the current family.
Yes. Yeah.
Is still producing great beers.
Yeah.
In a major barley growing area, in an area probably dominated. I know lots of microbreweries, but dominated by two other brewers. One in particular.
Trying not to say their names. Yes, bless them. Yeah. Our good friends in Bury St Edmunds, Green King. and Adnams in Southwold. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Both those companies are in the same stable as us. We're the survivors in East Anglia. If you look at Green King, it's what's now termed a super regional.
Yes.
So it's a PLC. Adnams still has more of the family feel about it, although again that's a different company to what it was 10, 15 years ago.
Yes, well it's had to be, hasn't it? But,
I think we all have to adapt.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said for being bloody minded and sticking to your principles and running your business how you want to run it. And hopefully that's where we're at here.
And proper cask-conditioned beer.
Well, we always believe in good quality and sticking to tradition, particularly with the recipes and sticking to those recipes.
I've come to the Fat Cat in the centre of Norwich. I'm about 6 months too early for their 20th birthday party, but I think I could stay here until the party and not get bored. Why? Well, they've got 30 different cask ales on tap, which is more than any other pub that I know of. And then they've got 50 different bottle beers from around the world. No surprise then that this pub has been named by CAMRA twice as the National Pub of the Year and 4 times by the Good Pub Guide. It's got a wall full of awards over there. It's in a very quiet residential street, but it shows that if you build it and you build it properly and you put real heart and soul into it, that people will come. As you can see, it's riotously packed and very noisy, and it's only about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's just a great destination. And it's a brilliant combination of old and new. I mean, the interior looks like it hasn't changed for about 50 years, but this is a pub that's on Twitter, it's on Facebook, it's got its own website. It's combining the best of modern beer marketing and running a pub with the greatest aspects of tradition as well. And for the last 6 years, it's even had its own brewery. So I'm going to try one of the beers that's actually brewed, not quite on the premises, but for the pub. So this is the Fat Cat's own honey ale. Now, I don't actually like the taste of honey, and this is brewed with a big dollop of Norfolk honey. But it's one of those great ingredients that works where it's not the taste of the honey that comes through, it's just the way it accentuates the other ingredients and accentuates the other flavours. So this is a wonderful summer beer. I would have this a little bit colder than you normally have real ale. The honey just kind of gives it that extra undercurrent of sweetness, makes it really nice and refreshing. It's a beer that you want to drink outdoors, want to have with a barbecue. It's a really nice, refreshing drink. Lovely. One of those beers that you could give to your girlfriend who thinks that she doesn't like beer, and it would completely convert her. So Peter's been looking around Elgood's brewery, and the Fat Cat always has Elgood's beers on. This month it's May, and May is mild month according to CAMRA. So the beer that's on today is Elgood's Mild, Black Dog Mild. Very dark beer. It looks quite intimidating, as milds do, but as milds are, it's actually not intimidating at all. It's interesting, I'm not getting as much of the kind of roasted flavours off that as I would normally get in a mild. It's got a slight hint of sourness, which is actually really, really nice. It tastes more like a light red wine or perhaps even a rosé than you would expect a beer to taste. Really summery, despite the colour. Very, very nice indeed. They've got so many cask ales in this pub that they can't actually fit them all on the bar. So a lot of them are just on stillage in back rooms. You can see through here, a lot of these barrels, some of them just conditioning, but some of them are actually on service at the moment. So I've got a beer from there. And this is a beer that I'm really, really happy that we got a chance to try on this video blog. This is just over the border in Essex. This is Crouch Vale Brewers Gold. Very special beer in that it won the Champion Beer of Britain at the Great British Beer Festival 2 years running in 2005 and 2006. And it's easy to see why. I can remember when you just could not get this beer for love nor money because it was so popular. It's a golden ale. Golden ales have become very, very fashionable recently. A lot of them use New World hops. You get these very big citrusy flavours, very big aromas, and it's a really kind of lovely, refreshing character. But what's really good about this beer is that those flavours aren't over the top. It's great to have them, but it's really nice when they're in balance and when everything kind of works together and it's not too overt. I mean, sometimes you want the extremes, but other times you want something that kind of hangs together as a whole and really works. And this has got kind of a lemon sherbet character to it. Very zingy, very refreshing, but not over the top. And it all works, it's all balanced, and so it goes down, it's very refreshing, very moreish, and another just brilliant summer drink. The beer style we're looking at this month is mild, probably the most misunderstood and unfairly maligned beer style in the whole of real ale. Why misunderstood? Well, look at it. It looks very dark, it looks rich and challenging and complex. And it's not. It is flavourful, but it does have a real drinkability to it as well. Because of a beer being this dark, you would expect to have chocolate, toffee, a bit of licorice, chicory, coffee grounds, and all those flavours are there. But it's quite a low-strength alcohol beer. In fact, it's a very low-strength beer. It's about 3.5%. It goes back to the 19th century. The term mild used to be applied to beers that were brewed and served fresh, because before this happened, beers tended to be aged for quite a long time before they were served. So it's a fresh beer, it's a young beer, it's a zingy beer, and when you drink it, you've got those flavours there, but it's a really clean, refreshing drink as well. It was really popular with working men and people working in industry. Kind of went into decline a bit in the mid-20th century and almost extinct, but it's making a real comeback now, so do look out for mild. And if you see it, don't be put off by the colour, check it out. It's really a very Moorish and drinkable beer.
Well, Pete, we're here in East Anglia. I've been to Elgood's Brewery, wonderful brewery.
What's so good about seeing other breweries, given that you look at one every day?
History, I think. That brewery's been there since the late 18th century, in the same family for 5 generations, the way it's growing up and changing and moving on with the times and doing everything that needs to be done. Brilliant stuff. And East Anglia, and great beer.
Yeah, I love coming here. Really good beer, a lot of nice brewers around. And just driving around all these roads, you see great pub after great pub, also in a brilliant selection of beers.
Yeah, we found 1 or 2 while we're here.
Yeah.
Anyway, next month we're off to...
Cornwall. Looking forward to that. Middle of the summer. Funny how these things work out.
On the beach.
Yeah, beer on the beach. Cheers.
With oysters. Cheers.
Cheers.